Welcome to Creamer Media's Resources Watch, a weekly video roundup of the events and people making and shaping the news in the mining industry. This week, metals sector urged to seize South Africa's beckoning steel master plan opportunity. Menar says Sipho Nkosi's red tape cutting role crucial to encourage investment. And equivalent of a Koeberg arising in solar projects. The Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of Southern Africa has urged all the sector's employer bodies to roll up their sleeves on May 19th and 20th and get their teeth into the Steel Master Plan, which is seen to have promising reindustrialization elements.
The Steel Master Plan is up and running. We have a conference coming up with our members and government and Labour on the 19th and 20th of May, where we want to see what we can do as business to play our part. The President in his solar address made reference to the Steel Master Plan. And at the end of the day, the focus of the Steel Master Plan is to find a better way to work together to increase production capacity and ultimately, in the process, hopefully create some jobs. The Steel Master Plan is focused on localization, designation, without having to necessarily compromise on cost and quality, and to deal with the sorts of issues that bedevil the relationship between upstream and downstream producers and fabricators, and both of which fall within the SIPSA camp. And SIPSA is the ideal go-between, to find common cause.
The appointment of mining stalwart Sipho Nkosi to cut red tape is crucial to encourage new investment and expand existing investment in South Africa.
The President announced the Sasol chairman, who is a well-respected businessman, Sipho Nkosi, as the person to lead the team at the presidency that would be responsible dealing with the red tape in the government. I think this is an important move to deal with the red tape, which is actually an issue in mining. To develop a mine, obviously one has to get a mining right, an environmental license has to be approved, and a water use license should be approved, and then one has to deal with the potential appeals either from the landowners or from the environmental NGOs, and that actually delays the process of getting a license quite a long time. I mean, we have cases where we've been waiting quite a while to get our water use licenses to be granted, for instance, or an appeal to one of our developments to be sorted by the Minister of Environmental Affairs. So I think this move of having Sipho Nkosi as a person in the presidency to deal with these kind of matters is critical, and we welcome that.
The equivalent of a Koeberg power station is arising in the form of newly largely mine-linked private sector solar power photovoltaic projects across Southern Africa.
There's now 1,600 megawatts that we've counted of renewable projects outside of any of the government programs. About half of it in South Africa is in the PGM industry. So Mogalakwena has announced 100 megawatts, Northam has announced 10 megawatts, Marula has announced 20 megawatts. Just today, Sedibilo came out with 75 megawatts. So there's a lot happening. And I mean, I don't want to embarrass anyone, but I had people in important government roles reaching out to ask for the list because nobody else is collating it. And I think, if you think that there's the equivalent of a Koeberg coming down, but it's only going to be working when the sun shines in the middle of the day, there are quite interesting implications for grid stability and grid planning and interconnectors. So that's the story in South Africa. There are at least 1,600 megawatts. We've mapped them all. They'll be coming out in our new edition of our map. It's really increasing, and not only here in Zimbabwe, with Zimplats coming out with significant announcements, and interestingly, First Quantum in Zambia, 400 megawatts of renewables. These are big numbers coming together now.
For mining news as it breaks, stay logged on to miningweekly.com and register for our free daily newsletter.